Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm excited you're here today because we're diving into one of the most fascinating and life-saving parts of human anatomy, the Circle of Willis. Whether you're a medical student, a healthcare worker, or just someone curious about how the brain survives critical moments like strokes, this session is for you. By the end of this session, you will understand what the Circle of Willis is, how it is structured, and why it is so important for brain function, and how it helps the brain literally reroute blood traffic when there is trouble. So stay with me, grab a notebook if you would like, and let's begin. Let's start with the basics. How does blood even get to the brain? The brain has two main sources of blood, the anterior circulation and the posterior circulation. The anterior circulation, this comes from the left and right internal carotid arteries. These arteries ascend through the neck and enter the skull to supply the frontal lobes, which are involved in reasoning, involvement, and problem solving. The parietal lobes, which are responsible for processing sensory information, and also parts of the temporal lobes and the anterior part of the deep brain structures. The posterior circulation, this part is supplied by the vertebral arteries, which merge into the basilar artery. These vessels nourish the brainstem, which controls breathing, heart rate, and consciousness. Also, the cerebellum, which is responsible for balance and coordination. The occipital lobes, which are responsible, or it is the vision center. Then the medial temporal lobes and the thalamus, which is the brain's relay station. Now, why does this division matter? Because both these systems need to talk to each other, and that's exactly where the Circle of Willis comes in. So, what is the Circle of Willis? The Circle of Willis is a circular arterial structure located at the base of the brain, surrounding key midline structures like the pituitary gland and the optic chiasm, as well as the hypothalamus. It acts like a roundabout, a central hub where arteries from the front and back of the brain meet and share blood flow. It was named after Thomas Willis, an English physician who described this part of the anatomy way back in 1664. So, why is it such a big deal? Because in case one artery gets blocked, the circle allows blood to be rerouted through alternate paths, preventing serious damage. Much like how GPS reroutes you around traffic jams. Now, let's break down its parts. The Circle of Willis includes the left and right internal carotid arteries, left and right anterior cerebral arteries, anterior communicating artery which connects the two anterior cerebral arteries, left and right posterior communicating arteries which connect the anterior system to the posterior, left and right posterior cerebral arteries, and finally the basilar artery, which is formed by the joining of the vertebral arteries. Think of it like this. The internal carotid arteries enter the circle from the front and give off the middle cerebral arteries, which head laterally. Then the anterior cerebral arteries move forward and toward the middle, connected by the anterior communicating arteries. Then the posterior communicating arteries reach back to join the posterior cerebral arteries, which themselves come from the basilar artery fed by the vertebral arteries. It is a complex loop, but beautifully engineered by nature for survival. The main function of the Circle of Willis is to serve as a backup system. Imagine you are watering your garden with a network of hoses. If one hose gets blocked, the water still reaches all parts because you've connected the hoses in a loop. The Circle of Willis works the same way for the brain. Here's how. If there's a blockage or narrowing in one artery, say the left internal carotid artery, the pressure changes. Because the arteries are connected in a circle, blood can flow in reverse or take an alternate route, reaching areas that would otherwise be starved of oxygen. This is especially important in conditions like atherosclerosis, stroke, aneurysms, vascular malformations. In short, the Circle of Willis is not an active pump. It doesn't do anything in terms of muscular action. Instead, it is the design and pressure dynamics that allow blood to flow wherever it's needed when disaster strikes. So, why should we care about the Circle of Willis? Well, here's the deal. Not everyone has a complete Circle of Willis. Some people are born with missing or underdeveloped segments. These people are at higher risk of brain damage if a stroke or arterial blockage happens. The circle is also the most common site for intracranial aneurysms, especially where arteries branch, such as the anterior communicating artery. If an aneurysm here ruptures, it can lead to a subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is life-threatening. So understanding this circle isn't just about anatomy, it's about saving lives, planning brain surgeries, and predicting stroke outcomes. Let's recap. The Circle of Willis is a critical circular connection of arteries at the base of the brain. It connects the anterior and the posterior circulation. It acts as a collateral system that protects the brain from ischemia during blockages. It plays a role in strokes, aneurysms, and other vascular diseases. It's one of the most elegant designs in human anatomy, a passive but powerful protector of our most vital organ, the brain. If you found this session valuable, don't forget to drop your questions in the comments. Like the video to support the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. Stay curious and I'll see you in the next session. Bye for now and keep learning.